lovely to connect with you again on this beautiful morning on the 1st of April. I apologize for not getting a podcast out in the spring, March. It was quite a full month on my neck of the woods, an amazing, very powerful spring equinox, lunar eclipse, and Easter week that landed me in Japan. Kind of a spontaneous trip that emerged at the start of this year of 2016 of answered prayers, a golden year, truly. I had hoped to record this podcast in Japan while I was in Kyoto in Mount Kurama. However, it completely slipped my consciousness because I was so immersed in the journey, and I really slipped into a sacred journey and was on my own sacred venture and pilgrimage and taking some time to really steep in the field and bring the gems back with me. So I'm delighted to be with you here today and to share some of the gems with you. I just landed yesterday, and so I'm very fresh off the mountain, if you will. And I want to share with you all that being on Mount Kurama and being in Kyoto, the origins of Reiki as we know it today through Mikao Usui Sensei's teachings, and for those of you that are new to Reiki or not trained in Reiki, Reiki is a very simple relaxation technique that's very steeped in a mindfulness meditation practice and really emerged into the world out of a very committed practice of a man named Mikao Usui, who is a committed Buddhist practitioner and developed a system. He developed a system of hands-on application for assisting the body in healing itself, really. But his system was also very much a meditation and breath work system. And sometimes that gets neglected in our Western Reiki or Western system. So being back in Kyoto and in Mount Kurama very much reactivated that awareness in me, and I had also just recently retaken a master training, Shinpenden training in February here in the States with a man named Franz Steen, the International House of Reiki, who also is steeped in the Japanese Reiki traditions. And, it's quite phenomenal how Reiki is such a vast world, and we have so many different perspectives on the system. And it's really crystallized for me related to that because I know in the Reiki world there's quite a bit of conflict about which Reiki is the true Reiki, and many schools and lineages of Reiki that claim that they are the true system of Reiki and the original teachings, and many systems of Reiki that have come up with their own methods or have added to Usui's methods, and so sometimes that can feel quite confusing, especially for a new Reiki practitioner. But what I've recently learned is that the fact is that Mikao Usui taught differently to each student, especially to his different teachers, depending on their level of consciousness and depending on what Mikao Usui saw that they needed to learn. So in essence, many of the different lineages that we have aren't really a conflict. They're really just the reality of that Mikao Usui gave us an array of teachings and with an array of students that shared what he had given to them, so that it's again like the various traditions and cultures that we have in our world, and in our world how there's various religions, that cultures or traditions or lineages or religions may claim that they are the true culture, the true lineage, or the true religion. But the reality is that they're all a piece of the whole, and every one of them contributes to the whole. And that is true of the Reiki system, that there are many different lineages and they all bring a piece of the whole. And in my experience, every lineage has its strength and every lineage has its weakness. And the true strength is in the coming together of the whole, and in the acknowledgement that each brings a piece and an element. And, if the world of Reiki, and I feel that is happening as it is in our greater world, as we dissolve the ego of superiority and we open up to the community and the cooperativeness and the co-creation, then we can really garnish and gain so much, because we can discover that there is gem in each practice, in each lineage, and we can learn from each other. We can then become stronger, and in our own personal practice, and as a Reiki community, and of course then as a world community with the larger cultures and traditions. And isn't that beautiful? That's really truly what we're moving into. I believe what 2016 is, and in the years to come, we're evolving out of a race where we have to claim that one is better than the other or fight one over the other, but rather that we can move into an evolved human race and consciousness where we discover that no one is better than the other, that we all are magnificent and we have something beautiful to share with each other. And, not only did I gain this perspective and this awareness in my journey to Kurama, but in being in Japan alone, and being, as you all out there have experienced, in being in the different traditions and cultures that you've traveled to, it's such a beautiful thing to travel, to learn from other cultures, and to discover that there's so much beauty in our world, and we can gain so much from traveling and being in another culture and steeping in other traditions, and we can, again, participate in that cooperation and in that communion and community, and be refined ourselves and cultured ourselves, and gives us new perspectives on our own individual worlds and our own cultures and our own behaviors, and can really help us to transform and transcend and evolve and grow and expand. And of course, with every expansion, then there's need and opportunity for contraction. I know I experienced that very much for myself as I felt very much expanded on this journey. I definitely feel the opportunity in time as I return to contract and to go deeper within, and to allow the deepening and the integration and assimilation of my experiences, very much like what we experience for those of you that have gone through a Reiki training. After a Reiki training and after the Reiki attunements, the need to take time to integrate and to steep and to assimilate. That's so essential, I find. So much to share with you, because we had a powerful seasonal shift with the spring equinox, and a really powerful lunar and sun alignment that we just experienced with our recent solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. And I know many of you out there have felt it and experienced it, and it was very powerful. And eclipses are very much representative of endings and then moving into new beginnings. And with the spring coming upon us, very much a time of cleansing and renewal, and Easter week, of resurrecting and emerging. And so I want to invite all of you out there whatever you may have been going through, whatever your journey is, to honor these times, these seasonal changes, and to spring forward, as many of us are talking about, but to also just honor that there's a time for cleansing and releasing and renewal. And so honor that with more meditation and journaling and time in nature. Very, very important. And of course, if you're Reiki practitioners in your Reiki practice, steeping in that. So I share that with you, just coming off of the seasonal shifts that we all experienced, and then of course coming off of my journey in Kurama and in Japan. And the essence of my experience in both Kyoto and Kurama were very much the principles of Reiki, the precepts, the 5 Reiki precepts that Mikao Usui shared with us, which are to let go of anger, let go of worry, to focus on the good in your life, the gratitude, to be devotional and attend to your daily duties in a sense of devotion, and to be kind and compassionate to others. And then, of course, that also means for yourself. That very much exemplifies the essence of both Kyoto and Kurama. There's such a devotional element in everything that occurs in my experience in Kyoto. All the individuals in all the different places that I went to, whether it was at a food mart or at a bus stop or a train station, a taxi driver, a hotel attendant, or just the pedestrians out on the streets, there was such an element of devotion and presence and kindness, really unlike any other culture I've experienced. As you all know, I'm in love with the islands of Hawaii and feel that aloha energy very much there and loving presence. But there is a quality in the culture of Kyoto that was really unique to me, and I felt individuals very much in practice of the 5th principle of Usui, a real sense of kindness and safety and inclusivity. In Japan, as a foreigner, where I don't really speak the language, arigato, which is thank you, was my main word, as I attempted to learn some of the others. And despite the language barrier, there was such a kindness, even with some of the individuals that, weren't too particularly excited about assisting me. There was still a kindness. So really showed me the roots of Mikao Usui's precepts, and that he saw that the individuals that came to him that were suffering with various illnesses, that it really came down to a way of life. And it was really beautiful to see that this precept, this way of life is lived by many of the people there. And I, of course, got to see that there's quite a vitality in the people there, along with such a simplicity. So the 4th Reiki principle of living in a sense of devotion is really related to a sense of simplicity. And you can see that in the longevity of life that was present with elderlies, seniors, elders that were on their bikes, on the streets walking, partaking in public transportation, and as well as tending to the bamboo forests and the temples. And so there was a real reverence to life and a devotional way of attending to your tasks, whatever they were, that in my eyes, of course it's just my perspective, presented a longevity of life and a simpler way of life that created a more ease. There seemed to be much less, not void of pain, but much less field of suffering, presence of suffering in what I experienced from these 2 precepts that I saw ever present in the culture. And I don't really know how the culture practiced the first three precepts, but letting go of worry, letting go of anger, and focusing on gratitude did definitely experience a sense of joy and peace in the people that seemed to be present despite what challenges were there. And our entire world is faced with environmental challenges, and there was definite congestion in Kyoto as far as architecture and housing, but there still seemed to be a sense of peace. And I believe that that was very much related to the reality that all of Kyoto housed thousands of temples, and there was a real reverential element in the entire field present there. And that again brought me back to the roots of Reiki. In many ways, sometimes in our Reiki practice, we go to our trainings, we learn Reiki, we receive our attunement, we go out in the world, we may feel disconnected and we wonder what's happened. And we really forget that though Reiki is with us always and never disappears, our experience of it is very much related to our connection to it and practicing the fourth principle, which is our devotional ability, our ability to be true to our path, our ability to be true to ourselves, which is the ability to invest in ourselves and our path through our connection, through our practice. And everybody's practice looks different. And as all of you have heard from me, having some kind of practice is essential. And that was so clear to me being there in Japan. The reality is that all of nature is in a constant practice. All of nature has a practice, repeats things daily. The birds, the bees, the butterflies, the insects, they all have a practice. And as humans, we have free will, and we have the opportunity to experience the majesty of this creation. And there's so much to experience, and it is one of the reasons that we are here, is to experience and to delight and to enjoy and to share. But we can so often forget the very basic simplicity of our importance of a foundational practice that enables us to have a more rich experience and a more rich ability to share and to enjoy and to truly cultivate a sense of fullness in all of that. And so in journeying to Mount Kurama, for certain, it was, and it is, so apparent to me that meditation, and the Gassho meditation particularly, and presence, and stillness, mindfulness, clarity, are at the root of a Reiki practice and of the Reiki system. They are at the root. And even beyond that is this incredible, vast essence of simplicity and of warmth. And warmth not in the sense of heat, but of warmth of kindness, of love. And the reality is that we live in a world of duality, and so there's light, love, and dark, and shadow. And what is so apparent on Mount Kurama is that there is very much a presence and a field of the true essence of light and love, the purity of light and love, the simplicity of light and love, not in its fairy element, but in its depth and its truth and in its power. And when you are on Kurama, it is impossible not to experience it, because it is just there. It is just there. And it is the very essence that many of us have experienced in sessions when we just feel just dropped into this space of incredible peace and warmth and ease. And when we've received attunements and we feel just consumed in this sense of lightness. And the reality is that the system of Reiki and the energy of Reiki is a system and an energy of illumination, of enlightenment, if you will. That was the experience that Mikao Usui had on Mount Kurama as he sat for 20, some say 21 days, some say 20 some odd days. And he had that sense of illumination, of enlightenment, of lightening, of a sense of non-duality, non-separation, complete oneness with all of life, light, dark, all in between, and a great sense of peace, stillness, and oneness. That is the essence of Reiki. That is the system of Reiki. That is the system and the energy of Reiki. And what was so incredibly apparent on Mount Kurama as well is that there is nothing for us to do in order to receive that it is inherent within all of us. And the energy of Reiki and the system of Reiki that Mikao Usui developed was really a system to help to release our blocks to what is inherent to us. The attunement method is really just a process of clearing within us what blocks us from it. And the practice that we develop on a daily basis is to support us in continually staying connected with that flow, with that connection, and open us up to a life of richness, of health, of vitality, of beauty, of camaraderie, of community, of sharing, of joy, of peace. That is very much the essence of Mikao Usui's system, and it was so apparent on Mount Kurama, and very much the element of what Reiki itself is. It's defined as soul energy. It's defined as spiritual energy, as life energy, life force energy, universal life force energy. It's the essence of all of life. That is Reiki. It inhabits your body. It inhabits your being. It inhabits the world you live in, all of nature. It is ever present, always there, and available to us in a simple application, that Usui taught us through the hands, but not only through the hands. He taught us this through simple application of meditation, of breath work, and of course through the symbols and the attunements that he passed on to us. It's very difficult to really fully envelop you in all that I experienced on Mount Kurama, and that is why I'm so excited that I will be leading a group next year in Mount Kurama in the spring, March, April, details to come. So do stay tuned, do mark your calendar. I'm so excited to be offering this to you. It's a definite must for Reiki practitioners and Reiki teachers, and I feel honored to feel strongly guided to share that. I'm also going to be leading a Reiki journey, excuse me, in the fall in Maui. I'll be teaching a Shinpenden master training in Maui this fall in September, October. All the details are on my website, sacredventures.com. So do join me there in Maui and then also in Japan. I am intending to also lead a retreat in Maui following the master training, and all the details are on my website. So do join me. All of these experiences I find are so essential to take us out of our daily lives and to enable us to steep more deeply so that we can have a richer experience of our daily lives. So again, go to my website, sacredventures.com. look into that, as well as the upcoming Reiki trainings here in Los Angeles. Much to share with you. And to complete for the next few minutes, let's just steep into a space of stillness. Tune you into the field of Reiki, tune you into the field of Kurama. I invite you to take a few cleansing breaths, inhaling fully, filling up your hara center, your belly, exhaling completely through an ah sound. And continue that 2 more times. Just releasing any concerns, any worries, and bringing yourself fully back into the present. And now continuing, filling your breath, filling your belly, filling your hara with breath. And as you exhale, allowing that breath to move through your entire body. And as we continue inhaling, filling your hara center with energy, and as you exhale, allowing that energy to circulate through your body temple. And again, inhaling, filling completely, exhaling, letting the energy circulate through your body. And a third time, inhaling, breathing in Reiki, exhaling, letting it circulate through your body, into your skin and into your aura. And continue in this way. Inhaling, filling with Reiki, exhaling, circulating through your organs, your tissues, your bones, into your skin and into your aura. And continue in this way. And just delighting in your breath. And if you're a Reiki practitioner, I'd like you to do this, including now inhaling, hold the breath, exhaling, chanting the power symbol. Inhaling, and as you exhale, chant the power symbol. Inhaling, and as you exhale, chant the power symbol. And let it be a slow chant. And I want you to continue this, and you can pause the podcast as you need to. Inhale, and chanting the mental emotional symbol. And I just want to touch on this in, some of the traditions of Japanese Reiki. They don't chant the mental emotional symbol. And I've taught this as well with many of my students. And I'm always learning and evolving in the system of Reiki. And the reality is that the mental emotional symbol has many meanings. All the Japanese names have many, many meanings. And one of them is unwanted habit. But it continues to also mean harmony. It also means inclination to true self. So in very really and true way, the mental emotional symbol is a symbol of transformation from unwanted habit to your true essence, to the inclination of your true self, your inner essence. It's very much a symbol of mental emotional transformation, of renewal, and moving us into a place of refinement on a mental emotional level where we're more deeply connected to our intuition, to our mental emotional awareness, our intuitive knowing on a mental emotional level. So we're moving out of those unwanted patterns of suffering, of addiction, of blockages, and opening up to what is natural to all of nature. All of nature is intuitively guided. All of nature connects through intuition, through inner awareness. That's how all of nature operates, and that is the nature of us as humans. And so the mental emotional symbol is the opportunity to open us up to that, transforming those stuck patterns in us and opening us to our true nature of guidance. And so steeping yourself in the mental emotional symbol, and the symbols that Usui gave us were really just pathways, opening us up to the flow of Reiki within us. Opening us up to, in the power symbol, opening us up to grounding us in the present, to stillness, to presence. Grounding us with the earth. Grounding us here now in the present and in our connection to the earth. And grounding us and connecting us with the gift of the earth. And that is an element that is on Mount Kurama, one of the elements that is practiced, and that is that there's a strong energy presence there, is the element of the earth. The power and the strength of the earth is an element and a teaching of Mount Kurama, and that is very much seen in the power symbol. The mental emotional symbol is also a derivative of the Hri symbol, the Sanskrit Hri symbol, which is connected to Avalokiteshvara, Zenju Canon, Kuan Yin, compassion, love, transforming all that is not needing for us to open up to true intuition, true clarity on our path. And moving us now to the distance symbol, inhaling fully, slowly as you exhale, chanting the distance symbol. And again, inhaling fully, slowly as you exhale, chanting the distance symbol. And the distance symbol very much connecting us with our true heart, our true mind. And opening us up to the reality that we are interconnected. That is the distance symbol. Just dissolving that sense of separation and connecting us so that all those around us that are open to receiving will also receive the gift of Reiki that we want to share with, that we want to open up to, so that they receive what they need. That's truly all that Reiki is. Reiki is simply opening us up to receiving what we need, that flow of life, of health, of vitality. That's all that it is. And it has its own guiding system, its own innate intelligence. Does not require any effort on our part. So just steeping in that element. And then for those that have gained the master symbol, inhaling fully, and as you exhale, chanting the master symbol, just drenching you in that immense light. I'd like for you now to deepen in the breath now and slipping into that space of rest. Allowing yourself to receive. And as we rest here together in meditation and stillness, in that space of interconnectedness, allowing this incredible flow and field of Kurama, the birthplace of Reiki, just envelop you now right where you are, as we are just there together. There's nothing to do. There's simply just stillness. And as was very much my experience there and here as it comes with me in my heart, and I share it with you through this podcast, an incredible, unmeasurable, no beginning, no end, infinite field of lightness, of warmth, of peace, of stillness. And of tremendous beauty. And you can continue in this space for as long as you like. Pausing the podcast, returning when you feel complete. And go ahead and wiggle your fingers and your toes. Inhaling fully in and through your nose. Exhaling, circulating through your body. Placing one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. And feeling the fullness within your being. The fullness within your body and all around you in your aura, in your biofield. And stillness, the presence, which is just a natural way of being, nothing more. It's the truest way to exist as a human being. And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes. If you're laying down, rolling over to one side and gently making your way up. Feeling your sit bones on your seat, your feet on the floor. Bringing your palms together, just rubbing them ever so slightly in gasho. Taking a moment here. In gratitude to yourself, to Reiki, to Usui, Kurama, to all the beautiful cultures all around the world and spiritual practices all around the world that we are connected with. Moving out of a realm and a world of competition or separation or better than into a world of communion, all truly carrying oneness. universal teachings of truth, of goodness. And I invite you to gently place your hands on your legs now, opening your eyes, coming back into your space fully, taking this essence with you into your day, and inviting you on every moment to reconnect with this presence and to give yourself the gift on a daily basis of reconnecting in your practice, bringing your practice into your everyday life. Looking forward to sharing more with you, looking forward to meeting you, looking forward to hearing from you. Again, connect with me via sacredventures.com. I'm available as well for one-on-one sessions via Skype, via phone, wherever you are in the world. If you're a Reiki practitioner, I'd love to assist you in Reiki mentoring sessions, and would love to have you in my classes as well, or the retreats. Stay tuned for all the details, and sending you tremendous presence, tremendous ease, tremendous joy and peace, deep fulfillment, and clarity on your path. Sat Nam, Namaste, much Reiki, aloha, love.